1. As far as I know, no store in Canada gives any kind of military discount, veteran or otherwise. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellow Canadians. We are not as military-oriented as the US. Back when I worked at a big red drugstore, I worked as a cash supervisor. It was my job to cover my cashier's breaks and make sure customers got as good a customer experience as possible. For those who don't know, drugstores do not sell tobacco or alcohol products, so the only item we sell that requires an ID is lottery. We also have a Seniors' Day on Thursday where anyone 65 plus can get 25% off. We don't need an ID or proof of age. They usually just know to ask for it since signs are up everywhere advertising the discount. This story takes place about mid-2019, before all the COVID drama started. It was a Saturday, so no managers were in. I was covering my cashier's break when a man comes up with a basket full of stuff. I make the usual greetings, ask if he has our rewards card, and ask if he would like a bag. He gruffly says something about visiting from the US, so of course he doesn't have a rewards card with us. He doesn't respond to wanting a bag, so I just start stacking his items at the end of the till. When I finish scanning his items, I read off his total and ask if he's paying with cash or card. He tosses an ID on the counter. "Oh, did you want lottery?" "What? No, I want a discount." Me thinking he meant the seniors discount. "Oh, sorry, we only have seniors discount on Thursdays." The customer looks at me like I'm stupid. He shoves his ID closer. "I'm a veteran, missy. That means I get a discount no matter what day it is." I'm sorry, but we don't do veterans discounts here in Canada." "Well, they do where I'm from, so you need to honor that." I stand there dumbfounded. How did that make any sense? "I'm sorry, but I have no way to put any kind of discount on your purchase, as it's not Thursday for Seniors' Day, and we have no promo going on right now." He's obviously getting upset and red in the face. "I want your supervisor. I want you fired. I want a new cashier." I blink at him. I can barely get the words out as I tell him that I am the supervisor and there was no store manager in today. The man flipped his lid. He started yelling at me, telling me I was discriminating and I must hate the US and he hoped they bombed my country next, some veteran, and that all of Canada was a stupid place with stupid people. I just stood there, not sure what to do. People were starting to stare, so I was freaked out. All I could do was stand there with my mouth open going, Finally, he said his piece and stomped out of the store with his ID, and nothing else. I stood there in silence for a few minutes just trying to process what happened. My cashier came back, but I had nothing else to do, so I just stayed on till to help with customers. A little elderly woman came up to my register to ask if I was all right, and that she never liked those hooligans south of the border. She made me smile and actually helped me put some of the items away that the man had left on the till. It makes me wonder, though, does every place in the US give a discount to veterans? And why did he flip out so badly when I didn't give him one here? 2. A little bit of backstory. I am male, 31, and French. I came out about a year ago. Not as French, everyone knew that. I recently got a new job that includes photography. So, with my best friend, we went to IKEA to spend some time together and to look up props for me to do the best job I can. I had a yellow t-shirt with a huge logo of a French web series. My friend and I were in the plates section of IKEA and we were talking about boys and having a good time, catching up since we weren't able to see each other in the last year. At some point, someone cleared her throat behind us and I was like, "Oh, sorry," and moved out of the way thinking that she wanted something I was looking at. Behind me was standing a woman with sunglasses that were covering everything on her face that wasn't covered by her mask. I should have seen this coming. I missed a sign, but to be honest, in France we don't have a lot of Karens or entitled people. Or, at least, in my experience. Finally, are you done? I want this, and this. Here's my cart, carry it for me. I follow you. Me and my friend were looking at each other like, what the fuck? And I replied, "Hi, I'm sorry ma'am, I don't work here, but if you want I can show you where the desk with the employee is, so they can help you." "Ugh, do your damn job. I saw you putting stuff back on the shelf, so stop lying to me. I hate that." "I assure you ma'am, I don't work here. I'm just a customer. I'm here with my friend. But come with me, I'll show you where the desk is and the store employees can help you."
I told you I don't like liars, so if you bring me to the desk, I'll tell your manager about your attitude towards paying customers, and I'll get you fired.
I rolled my eyes and looked at my friend who was frozen but was looking at this happening in front of her without being able to wrap her brain around the fact that, yes, it was happening, and yes, it's real life. We start walking towards the desk. Fortunately, as we walk, we can see that there is someone standing there. I looked at my friend, and I know that she's thinking the same thing as me. Thank God there is someone here, and they'll handle it, and we'll be able to continue our shopping peacefully. But girl, we were so wrong. The entitled customer saw the desk and runs up to the poor employee.
Are you the manager? I need you to fire this guy right now. He refused to help me. I have never been so ashamed and badly treated in my life.
Wasn't that hard to believe? The IKEA employee responds,
Hello, ma'am. I am sorry, but he isn't one of our employees. As you see, he doesn't have a badge or the uniform. Don't give me that crap. I hate liars. He is wearing yellow, so he has to work here. I assure you, he doesn't. I've never seen him before, but I'll be happy to help you.
Entitled customer looked at him, the employee, from his shoe to his head, and went,
Are you gay?
No.
Then I don't want you. I want him.
Pointing at me.
I heard it's him and the girl talking about men, and I want to buy a decoration for my home, and it's common knowledge that gays are better at this stuff. Make him help me.
At this point, my friend started laughing and says,
Him good at home decoration? Lady, you never saw his place, trust me.
My jaw dropped. I was like, bitch, that was a read. The shit is real, but I laughed too because, well, it's true. I'm going to cut short now. The conversation continued for a few minutes, and then the entitled customer started to throw a tantrum and things at the employee. My best friend and I, at some point, I put my friend behind me so she didn't get hurt. And I'm glad I did, because a few seconds later I was hit in the head and started to bleed. At this point, security arrived and stopped the entitled customer while she was screaming,
Get your hand off me. You can't kick me out. I'm too special to be kicked out.
And as it happens, someone that must be higher in the hierarchy of the store, he's wearing a white shirt and tie, came to the desk. As I turned towards him, and he looks at me, his eyes wide open, my head is starting to be covered with blood. He starts to panic, wanting to call the paramedics. I stop it because it's just a small cut and just ask for an antiseptic, something to clean my face, and a new mask since mine is now half wet with blood. In the end, I get all that, and as we talk, the man wearing a white shirt who keeps apologizing, I tell him it's not his fault, nor the employee, nor the store, and that I have better things to do with my life and time, so won't be suing the store. He still gave me his card in case I have a medical bill and want to place a charge against the entitled customer, so she pays for it and will provide me with the security footage. He also writes my friend and I a note to a free lunch at the cafeteria. So the day goes by and we eat way too much before going back to the store, and for the whole afternoon my friend every few minutes, while laughing, says, even in the middle of us talking,
Are you gay?
3. When I was 13, I was aimlessly wandering around and looking at random stuff at a retail store. That for this story I will call Bullseye, waiting for my mom to finish picking out some tennis shoes. A lady who looked to be in her late 40s came stomping up to me. She has a horde of 5 kids, looked to be about ages 3 to 10, swarming around her, plus a baby in her arms. I have zero clue what she's saying. I don't understand pterodactyl screeching. I started backing away with my hands up, like she had a weapon pointed at me. When she tried to place the baby in my arms, she started screaming,
Manager! I need a manager!
Until some employees walked up to us. She got this smirk of what I can only describe as pure joy on her face and pointed at me. You'd think she was identifying a criminal the way she was acting.
This employee almost made me drop my baby. I tried to drop my children off at childcare, and she refused to take my children and wouldn't take my baby from me. There isn't a limit for how many children you can drop off posted anywhere, so I don't want to hear it. I will not be discriminated against just because I have so many beautiful children.
My jaw was on the floor at this point. I was 13, looked even younger, was in the middle of my emo phase, was in the middle of the music section looking at CDs, and like I said, was in Bullseye. What about any of that would make someone think I was some kind of in-store daycare worker? The employees' faces ranged from utterly confused to trying really hard not to laugh. When they all stared at her for a few seconds without saying anything, the mom started to back up with her bird mating calls again. I could make out bits and pieces. She's going to sue. She had come to find me because I wasn't there. I was supposed to be in the childcare area. I look unprofessional. She doesn't want her kids being watched by someone who looks like a devil worshipper anyway, and some more threats involving her husband in church. The manager finally spoke up at this point. He first explained that I don't work here, then informed her that they don't provide any kind of childcare. She flipped out again, accusing them of lying. I actually figured out what she had been doing and explained to the manager. This store had a little mini arcade room near the entrance and the snack counter, where you can buy popcorn and soft pretzels, stuff like that in case this isn't normal for Bullseye stores in other areas, I don't know. She had been dropping her kids off in the little arcade room and expected the nearby employee to watch her kids while she shopped. The employee was only near because the room was right by the front door. The room is tiny. It has like 4 games in it. I don't know how all of her kids even fit in there. Apparently this was the first time coming here since she had had her baby. You'd think she would have been horrified or at least embarrassed once the truth came out, but nope. She just started yelling more and accusing the manager of trying to cover up for me. Since I had obviously abandoned the kids I was supposed to be watching. She said she was going to call the police and report me to the store for child endangerment, and I was so getting fired. The manager asked her to follow them so they could take care of the situation. And while she refused at first because she wanted to be there when I was fired, she left with him, and he finally lost his temper and yelled, "Ma'am, she does not work here, leave her alone." The other employees took me up to the register and offered me a $100 gift card and a lot of apologies. I tried to turn it down, it wasn't their fault, and I got a great story out of it. She insisted, though. From what I gathered from her, the crazy lady had apparently said a lot of horrible things about me while shrieking that I couldn't understand. My guess is they were worried my parents would sue them or something. They called my mom to the front of the store and explained the situation to her, then gave me my gift card. Luckily for them, rather than threaten a lawsuit, my mom just laughed her ass off the whole time. I really thought she was going to pass out from lack of oxygen. She was laughing so hard at my painful experience she could barely breathe. She was super bummed that she had missed the whole thing. In the end, as we were walking out of the store, my mom looked at me in all of my emo gear and said, "Who in the hell would try to put their newborn in your arms?" A complete stranger whose sleeves literally say, "Cut my wrist and black my eyes." I used to buy blank shirts and sharpen my favorite song lyrics all over them. I was so cool. In conclusion, I don't know how the situation with the Mother of the Year ended, but the next time we went to Bullseye there was a huge new sign saying, "Do not leave children unattended," by the doorway to the arcade room. It was in the exact same spot as the old sign that said the exact same thing. Only difference was that this sign was about 4 times as big. I swear my mom was hoping to run into Miss Hayes' Stranger Take My Infant because she all of a sudden needed to go to Bullseye all the time for a little while. 4. So a bit of background. I work for a retailer that provides mobile service. Earlier today, I have a customer, an angry lady, that comes in, angry and upset, and I ask how I can help them. She begins to give me a very lengthy explanation about how she signed up for our mobile services for my coworker and had racked up $600+ in charges for a share plan on her mother's account. She begins to tell me how her mother is on fixed income and how she can't afford it and she's going through a lot in life right now. So I express my sympathy and attempt to help her out, just walking into the situation. This is where it gets interesting. Every time I would try to read off what is on my computer system or billing ledger for her, she would interrupt me and go on a tirade about how that's not what she signed up for or how the billing is incorrect. As it turns out, the person berating me, angry lady, was the one who racked up all the charges, and when I tell her that, she explains to me that her son has autism and uses the phone non-stop. Not a problem, but it still doesn't resolve the fact that she was the one who went over. She then tells me that all of her phones in that plan should have been unlimited. I call up coworker who helped them, and he confirmed they signed up for a share plan to which the angry lady profusely refused and told me it was supposed to be unlimited when in fact my coworker had told me they insisted on the shared plan. She switched to unlimited, but the charges remained because it was from a past billing statement. She demands I refund her, which I have no legitimate authority to do so, especially for a 600 plus credit, so I email my supervisors and regional managers about what I should do. At that point, all I could do was send an email and provide her some numbers to get her pointed in the right direction. By this point, Angry Lady was calmer and apologetic and thanked me for helping her. Not 30 minutes later, Angry Lady comes back in and interrupts me while I'm helping other customers and berates me in front of other customers and shouts at me that they will not refund her. So she forcefully puts her phone into my hands and has me speak to the phone rep, and they explain to me it was a legitimate charge because they cannot refund her. So she's shouting at me while I'm talking to this phone rep, and before I can get more information from this rep, she snatched her phone out of my hands and said,
"Fuck this. Fuck all of you. We're going to the bank and canceling the charges and switching carriers,"
and abruptly leaves. The only person I felt honestly bad for was the mom, and apparently she was more upset than Angry Lady. She'd kept going on and on the whole time about how I wasn't telling her what she wanted to hear in regards to her plans, her billing, and what was happening, and kept interrupting me before allowing me to tell her what I'm reading. I had to explicitly tell her not to shoot the messenger. Also, as it turns out, she did this mobile order completely online, and my coworker just activated the phones but never actually signed them up. So essentially, the Angry Lady was finding someone to blame for her own mistake and racking up the charges. 5. I work selling flowers as a vendor at a store. On occasion, I will take commissions to create arrangements and the like, anything from bouquets to corsages, and so on. A woman called me on the phone mid-July to order some flowers for a party she planned on having at the end of July. I ordered a ton of flowers. On accident, I misunderstood how many she would need. But it all worked out since she was able to choose the best bunches in the lot, and since you only pay for what you take, the extras just got put in my display case for other customers. Now, there was a slight miscommunication as to what arrangements she needed, so we ended up on a deal that I would charge her $25 for 3 arrangements. This is a steal. See, I don't make arrangements that often, so I keep my prices low since I don't have much of a portfolio. So I finished the first arrangement. It is gorgeous. I mean, I was so proud of it that I took 1,000,000 pictures. I pick a good one, send it to the customer, and she replies, "I don't think it looks good. It needs more oomph." Pride shattered. I stared at it. I stared at her text. I wasn't comprehending this. It wasn't exactly like the arrangement in one of the pictures she sent me, but I told her they wouldn't be exactly the same. Not just because every arrangement is a little unique, and we didn't have the exact same selection of flowers in the pictured arrangement. So I adjusted, I stepped back, it looks good, a couple more sunflowers here, another bit of eucalyptus. I finish it and start working on the next one after sending her another picture. The next message I receive is, "Please don't do any more arrangements." I'm confused, but sure, okay. I stop, I talk to one of the store's managers. I decide that I will still be charging her $25. It's what we agreed on. And she's clearly trying to short me by acting like I did a crappy job, despite her saying she could never do flower arranging herself since it's too hard. I tell her that I will still be charging her. She says, "But it's not done professionally." And I lose it. I've been doing this job for almost 4 years, and I can make a killer flower arrangement. I just don't always do them on commission. You might be able to guess why. She tries to argue and say, "Well, I'll pay you $10. And I explain I could rightly charge her $50 for the work I did, that I am indeed a professional, and that if she doesn't like what I made, I will take it apart, which is what I should have done. I am adamant that she owes me $25, and all of the store's managers are backing me up on this. She comes into the store, insults my work to my face. I should have taken this to a real professional, who, by the way, would have charged a hell of a lot more than me, then leaves. I agree to keep her arrangement and extra flowers in her cooler overnight because I'm so done arguing with this lady. She ends up coming in the next day to pick up the flowers, and manages to come in when I wasn't there so she could sneak out with the arrangement without paying me. Luckily, a manager sees her, and we try to get her to pay, but I was out of the store on break, and I could hear this lady being horrible to the employees over the phone. I decide to tell them just to let her leave, and I end up permanently blacklisting her from ever ordering flowers again. I messaged her saying that she still owes me $25. She gets snarky about it. Well, I'll pay you the next time I'm there. Sure. And to this day, she still owes me for the arrangement she made. To save $25 after spending around $150 on flowers already, she decided to insult me, call my work unprofessional, and get herself blacklisted from special ordering flowers ever again. And before anyone says anything, don't worry, I've learned my lesson, and I know how to deal with this in future. Normally, the people that I make arrangements for are extremely kind and pay up front, which is what I should have had this woman do. But I didn't, and I learned from my mistakes here. This is not a post looking for advice, I simply wanted to complain about an entitled woman who could be bothered to throw an extravagant party for family, but not pay me $25 to make the central arrangement for said party. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to... Should probably have checked that first. Oh, there we go. Adventures in Fast Food and Retail, episode 132. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. If you enjoyed the video, then please do like, subscribe, and... Oh, commenting's so boring. Tell you what. Since it's a retail video, instead of leaving a regular old comment, tell me your favorite type of cheese. Be that cheddar, Gouda, black cheese, or no cheese. Ah yes, mysterious no cheese. Makes for some very boring sandwiches, I'll tell you. What was I doing? Oh yes, outro. Okay, I have a couple of shouty outs to do. Right, I have a twofer. One goes to China E, and their birthday is today, and they are 33 years old. Still just a baby in comparison to me. I'm 40 next month. And the second one goes to Miri. I think These Wing Geek. I think that's their YouTube name, but to Miri. And their birthday was actually on the 11th. They knew they were sending it in a bit late. They sent it in just before the 11th when the video was already done, but that's okay. If you don't mind a late shout out, I don't mind doing one. They don't say how old they are, so we won't pry. And to both of you, I'd like to sing a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear China. Dear Miri. Happy birthday to you. Alrighty then, I think we'll wrap things up there for now. I am going to try to do a recordy stream either on Thursday or Friday. You'll know which day I picked because it'll show up. We'll try and do it not too late at night, not too early, to make sure more people have a chance to watch. Okay, and with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.